Part 1. The Eternal Rivalry. Dawn breaks over the African savannah, a vast golden stage where the drama of life and death has played out for millennia. This is the Serengeti, a land of brutal beauty and unforgiving heat. Here, the sun does not just provide light, it dictates the rhythm of survival. As the morning mist evaporates, it reveals an ancient landscape inhabited by some of the most formidable creatures on Earth. But among the countless species that call these plains home, two giants stand locked in a perpetual struggle for dominance. This is not just a hunt, it is a war that has shaped the evolution of both predator and prey. In the shadows of the acacia trees, we find the first players in this high-stakes game, the lion pride. Often referred to as the kings of the jungle, their true domain is the open grass. Unlike other big cats who hunt in solitude, the lion's greatest weapon is its social structure. A pride is a complex sisterhood of warriors, a collective intelligence that allows them to tackle prey far larger than themselves. Every member has a role, and every movement is calculated. Their existence is a delicate balance of leisure and extreme violence. They can spend 20 hours a day resting, conserving every ounce of energy for the moments that truly matter. For a lion, hunger is a constant companion, and the need to feed a growing pride requires a kill of immense proportions. Across the clearing, a dark, moving fortress occupies the horizon. This is the Cape Buffalo, known to many as the Black Death. Weighing up to nearly a ton, the African buffalo is widely considered one of the most dangerous animals on the continent. They are not the passive grazers people often mistake them for. They are grumpy, unpredictable, and fiercely protective. Armed with a massive fused shield of bone known as a boss at the base of their horns, a single buffalo possesses enough raw power to toss a lion into the air like a rag doll. When they gather in herds of hundreds, they become a nearly impenetrable wall of muscle and horn. The relationship between the lion and the buffalo is one of the most intense rivalries in the natural world. It is a classic confrontation between two different philosophies of power. The lion represents precision, strategy, and the lethal grace of the assassin. The buffalo represents stubbornness, collective defense, and overwhelming brute force. To the lions, a buffalo represents the ultimate prize, a massive bounty of protein that can sustain the entire pride for several days. But to claim that prize, they must risk everything. A single misstep, a fraction of a second of hesitation, can result in shattered bones or a fatal gash from a horn. This is the fundamental paradox of the savannah. The hunter must kill to live, but the act of killing could lead to its own death. As the temperature rises and the herds begin to move, the air becomes thick with tension. The lions are watching, their amber eyes fixed on the horizon, looking for any sign of weakness, any calf that wanders too far, or any old bull that lags behind. The buffalo are equally vigilant, their keen sense of smell detecting the faint musk of the predator on the wind. This morning, the peace of the plains is merely an illusion. Beneath the surface, the gears of a deadly machine are beginning to turn. The strategy is being formed, the positions are being taken, and the eternal rivalry is about to reach its boiling point. In this theater of survival, there are no villains and no heroes, only the relentless drive to endure. The stage is set for a confrontation where the power of the pride will be tested against the indomitable will of the herd. Part 2. The Anatomy of Power. To understand the intensity of this confrontation, one must look beneath the surface at the biological engineering of the combatants. This is an evolutionary arms race that has lasted for millions of years, where every offensive weapon developed by the lion has been met with a defensive countermeasure by the buffalo. It is a masterpiece of natural design, where power is defined not just by size, but by the specialized tools each animal brings to the battlefield. Let us first examine the predator. A lioness is a creature of explosive power. Nearly 60% of her body mass is pure muscle, designed for short, lethal bursts of speed rather than long-distance endurance. Her skeleton is flexible, her spine acting like a coiled spring that allows her to leap great distances and absorb the shock of a high-speed collision. But her most iconic weapons are hidden, A lion's claws are retractable, kept sheathed within the paw to ensure they remain razor-sharp for the moment of impact. When they hook into the thick hide of a buffalo, they act like mountain-climbing pitons, anchoring the lion to a moving mountain of muscle. Then there's the bite. A lion's jaw is a precision instrument. While it possesses a crushing force of over 600 pounds per square inch, its primary function in a buffalo hunt is not to crunch bone, but to grip and suffocate. The long canine teeth are designed to find the gaps between vertebrae or to clamp down on the windpipe, a grim task that requires immense jaw strength and stamina. Yet the lion's greatest anatomical advantage isn't a tooth or a claw, it is the brain. Lions possess a high degree of social intelligence, allowing them to communicate, plan, and execute maneuvers that no solitary predator could ever dream of. However, the lion is dwarfed by the sheer scale of its opponent. The African buffalo is often described as a bovine tank, and for good reason. A mature bull can weigh up to 900 kilograms, nearly 4 times the weight of a large male lion and 6 times that of a lioness. Their skin is incredibly thick, particularly around the neck and shoulders, acting as a natural suit of armor that can deflect all but the most determined claw and tooth. The buffalo's primary weapon is its boss, the massive fused base of its horns that covers the top of its skull like a helmet of solid bone. This shield is virtually bulletproof and serves as a devastating battering ram. Below the boss, the horns curve outward and upward into wicked points. A buffalo doesn't just gore. It uses its massive neck muscles to toss its head with enough force to flip a vehicle or disembowel a predator in a single upward thrust. Beyond physical weapons, the buffalo possesses a sensory suite tuned for survival. Their sense of smell is legendary, often detecting a lion's presence long before the cat is even in visual range. Their hearing is acute, and their eyes, positioned on the sides of their head, provide a wide-angle view of the horizon, making it difficult for any predator to approach unseen. In this matchup, the numbers game is staggering. To bring down a healthy adult buffalo, a single lion stands almost no chance. It is a mathematical impossibility for a 150-kilogram cat to ground a 900-kilogram beast through strength alone. This is where the power of the pride becomes a literal necessity. The hunt is a calculation of physics. The lioness must use her agility to find an anchor point. Her sisters must provide the combined weight to overcome the buffalo's center of gravity, and the male lion, the pride's heavy hitter, must often be called in to provide the final crushing force needed to end the struggle. This biological disparity creates a fascinating tension. The buffalo has the weight, the armor, and the brute force. The lion has the speed, the tools of penetration, and the tactical mind. It is a perfect balance of power where neither side has a guaranteed victory. Every time they meet, they are testing the very limits of their anatomy. One is built to endure, the other is built to strike, and in the space between them lies the narrow margin of survival. Part 3. Strategy and the art of stealth. The afternoon sun begins its slow descent, casting long, distorted shadows across the plains. For the lion pride, the time for rest has ended. The hunt does not begin with a roar or a charge. It begins with a look. A single lioness rises, her amber eyes scanning the horizon with a focus that borders on the supernatural. She is not merely looking at the herd of buffalo in the distance. She is dissecting it. This is the scouting phase, a cold, calculated assessment of the opposition. To the untrained eye, the buffalo herd is a chaotic mass of black hide and horns. To the lioness, it is a map of opportunities and dead ends. She looks for the outliers. Perhaps a calf has strayed too far from its mother's flank. Perhaps an aging bull is favoring a slightly limping leg, or a yearling is distracted by a patch of particularly lush grass. The pride does not look for the strongest. They look for the vulnerable. They seek the glitch in the herd's collective defense. In the world of the savannah, the weak are the currency of the strong. Once a target is identified, the invisible web begins to spread. This is where the pride's social intelligence truly shines. Without a single vocalization, the lionesses begin to move in a coordinated fan formation. They communicate through subtle shifts in body language, the flick of a black-tipped tail, the angle of a head, a lingering look between sisters. There is no commander, yet every individual knows her role. Some are the wingers, wide-flanking hunters who move to the sides to cut off escape routes. Others are the toy drivers, who will eventually push the prey toward the hidden ambushers. Stealth is their primary religion. A lioness can move through grass that is only a few inches high and remain virtually invisible. She collapses her frame, her shoulder blades rising and falling like pistons above her spine, her belly grazing the dust. Every paw print is placed with intentionality, avoiding dry twigs or loose stones that might snap or crunch. They are masters of the low-profile approach, utilizing every termite mound, every thicket, and every fold in the earth to mask their advance. But the lions are not only fighting the buffalo's eyes, they are fighting their noses. The wind is the most volatile variable in this equation. If the breeze shifts and carries the scent of the predator to the herd, the hunt is over before it begins. The lions must stay downwind, circling wide, sometimes traveling miles out of their way just to ensure the air remains their ally. It is a grueling, slow-motion exercise in patience. They may spend 2, 3, or even 4 hours just to gain a few hundred meters of ground. In this game, the one who rushes is the one who goes hungry. As the lions close the gap, the psychological pressure begins to mount. The buffalo are not entirely unaware. A sense of unease ripples through the herd. The large bulls at the perimeter raise their heads, nostrils flaring, sensing a disturbance in the rhythm of the afternoon. The herd tightens. Mothers nudge their calves toward the center. It is a moment of profound tension, a silent standoff where the predators are trying to remain ghosts, and the prey is trying to conjure them out of the grass. The lions are now within the strike zone, a distance of roughly 30 to 50 meters. At this range, the stealth phase reaches its breaking point. The lions' heart rates climb, their muscles are flooded with adrenaline, and their focus narrows until the entire world consists only of their chosen target. They are waiting for the perfect moment, a moment of distraction, a shift in the herd's direction, or a lapse in vigilance. In these final seconds of silence, the pride is a perfectly synchronized machine. They have surrounded the target, they have neutralized the wind, and they have utilized the terrain. The art of stealth is about to give way to the chaos of the strike. The chess pieces have been moved into position. The checkmate is being prepared. The peace of the savannah is a thin veil, and the pride is about to tear it asunder. Part 4. The chaos of the strike. The tension that has been building for hours finally snaps. It happens in the blink of an eye. A sudden, explosive surge of gold against the green and brown of the plains. The led lioness breaks cover. She doesn't roar. She saves her breath for the sprint. This is the trigger, the moment where stealth is discarded for raw kinetic energy. The herd reacts instantly. 1,000 tons of muscle and bone erupt into motion, the ground trembling under the rhythmic thunder of 4,000 hooves. This is the chaos the lions have been waiting for. In the swirling dust and the panicked bellows of the herd, the target is isolated. The lionesses work like sheepdogs, weaving through the outskirts of the stampede to cut off their chosen buffalo from the protection of the group. The buffalo, sensing its isolation, reaches a terrifying top speed, but the lions are faster. The lead hunter launches herself, 150 kilograms of predator airborne, her front claws hooking deep into the buffalo's thick hindquarters. She is a living anchor, using her weight to disrupt the buffalo's stride. This is not the clean, swift kill of a leopard or a cheetah. This is a brutal, grinding war of attrition. More lionesses join the fray. One leaps onto the buffalo's back, her claws digging through the hide to find purchase on the spine. Another lunges for the nose or the throat, attempting to bring the massive head down. The buffalo, however, does not go down easily. It is a creature of immense stamina and fury. It spins in circles, trying to shake off the cats, its massive horns swinging like scythes. A single well-placed kick or a thrust of a horn could end a lioness's life in a heartbeat. The air is filled with a cacophony of sound. The guttural growls of the lions, the desperate, vibrating bellows of the buffalo, and the sound of heavy breathing and snapping branches. The struggle moves across the landscape, leaving a trail of torn earth. But as the lions begin to tire, the tide often turns. The Cape buffalo is famous for its never say die attitude. Even with 3 or 4 lions clinging to its body, a buffalo can remain standing for 20 minutes or more. And then, the most dangerous moment for the pride occurs: the rescue. Buffalo are among the few animals that will actively turn back to save a member of their herd. Hearing the distress calls, the large bulls, the generals of the herd, often stop their flight. They lower their heads and charge back into the fray. This is a terrifying counterattack. A charging bull buffalo is an unstoppable force. The lions are forced to make a split-second decision: stay and risk being disemboweled, or let go and lose their meal. Many hunts end here, with the lions scattered and the buffalo limping back to the safety of the herd, bruised but alive. However, if the lions can keep the bulls at bay, or if the herd continues to flee, the endgame begins. The buffalo is losing blood and, more importantly, oxygen. The weight of the lions eventually becomes too much. The buffalo's back legs buckle. It hits the ground with a massive thud, but the fight is still not over. A downed buffalo is still a lethal opponent, thrashing its legs and swinging its head. To end this struggle, the pride needs more power. This is often when the male lion makes his appearance. He has been watching from the sidelines, conserving his energy. Now, he stalks forward, his massive frame radiating dominance. He doesn't need the agility of the females. He brings the killing blow. With a force that no lioness can match, he clamps his massive jaws over the buffalo's muzzle or throat. This is the grim reality of the savannah, the strangulation bite. It is not a quick death. It can take 5, 10, sometimes 15 minutes for the massive lungs of the buffalo to finally cease their labor. The male lion holds on with a grip of iron, his eyes closed in concentration, ignoring the final thrashes of the prey. The rest of the pride begins to settle around the carcass, their chests heaving, their fur matted with dust and blood. The chaos is over. The silence returns to the plains, broken only by the heavy breathing of the victors. The power of the pride has prevailed, but it has been earned through a terrifying display of courage and collective force. Part 5. The Feast and the Hierarchy. The silence that follows the death of a buffalo is heavy and absolute. The dust begins to settle, coating the blood-stained coats of the lions in a fine gray powder. This is the red banquet, the hard-won reward for hours of strategy and minutes of life-threatening violence. But on the African savannah, the struggle for survival doesn't end when the prey dies. A new kind of tension now takes hold, one dictated by the strict and often brutal social order of the pride. Hierarchy is the law of the pride, and it is never more evident than at a kill site. Despite the fact that the lionesses did the heavy lifting and the strategic stalking, it is the male lion who usually claims the lion's share. He moves in with a low, vibrating growl that signals his dominance. This is not mere greed, it is a biological imperative. The male's role is the protector of the pride's territory. To defend against rival males and keep the pride's land secure, he must maintain his massive strength. He eats first, tearing into the toughest parts of the hide with ease, while the females and cubs wait their turn, often just a few feet away, watching with intense, hungry eyes. When the male has had his fill, or if the kill is large enough, the lionesses move in. The scene is one of controlled chaos. There is constant snarling, snapping, and swatting as each cat tries to secure the best position. For the cubs, this is a vital, albeit harsh, lesson in survival. They must learn to be assertive, darting in to grab scraps of meat while avoiding the heavy paws of their mothers and aunts. On a carcass as large as a buffalo, there is enough for everyone to eat their fill. But the instinctual drive to compete remains. As the lions feast, they are being watched. From the moment the buffalo fell, the cleanup crew of the savannah began to assemble. The first to arrive are the vultures. They drop from the sky like falling soot, landing in the nearby acacia trees or huddling on the ground a safe distance away. Their presence is a biological clock, ticking away the time the lions have left with their meal. Soon, the wind carries the scent of blood and opened gut to more formidable rivals. The spotted hyenas. Hyenas are the eternal shadows of the lion pride. They are not merely scavengers. They are powerful predators in their own right. And they are masters of the waiting game. They gather in the tall grass, their eerie, whooping calls signaling to their clan that a feast is underway. For now, the lions are too strong and too many to be challenged. But the hyenas are patient. They know that as the lions become food drunk, entering a state of lethargy known as a food coma, their vigilance will waver. The feast is also a moment of intense social bonding for the pride. Between mouthfuls, sisters will nuzzle one another, and cubs will play with the tufted tails of the adults. The shared meal reinforces the pride as a single functioning organism. The protein from the buffalo will provide the energy needed for the lionesses to produce milk for their young, and for the males to patrol their borders. As the sun dips below the horizon, the lions are visibly transformed. Their bellies are distended, swinging low as they move. The once lethal hunters are now slow and heavy. They begin to move away from the carcass, one by one, seeking the shade of a thicket to begin the long process of digestion. They leave behind a scene that is gruesome to human eyes, but essential to the ecosystem. The power of the pride has been validated, and for the next few days, the hunt is over. But as the lions sleep, the savannah remains awake, and the cycle of the rivalry prepares for its next revolution. Part 6, Survival of the Fittest. As the last embers of the African sun sink below the horizon, painting the sky in bruised purples and deep oranges, a profound stillness returns to the plains. The buffalo carcass, once a mountain of muscle, is now a skeletal remains, being reclaimed by the earth and the smaller scavengers of the night. The pride has retreated into the shadows of the whistling thorns to rest. In this quiet moment, the true meaning of the struggle we have witnessed becomes clear. This is not a story of cruelty, nor is it a story of simple victory. It is a story of equilibrium. The power of the pride is a double-edged sword. While the lions sit at the pinnacle of the food chain, their position is far from secure. Every successful hunt we witness is balanced against dozens of failures, days of hunger, and the constant threat of injury. To look closely at an aging lioness is to see a map of these encounters. Notched ears, scarred flanks, and perhaps a slight limp from a previous encounter with a buffalo's hoof. For the predator, the price of power is eternal vigilance and the willingness to risk everything for a single meal. A lion that cannot hunt is a lion that cannot survive, and in this unforgiving wilderness, there is no retirement. For the buffalo, the rivalry is equally transformative. The pressure of predation from the pride is what keeps the herd strong. By culling the old, the sick, and the weak, the lions ensure that only the most resilient genes are passed down to the next generation. The buffalo we see today, massive, intelligent, and fiercely protective, are the products of millions of years of avoiding the very claws we have seen in action. Without the lion, the buffalo would overpopulate and decimate the grasslands. Without the buffalo, the lion would vanish. They are two halves of a single complex soul. This relationship is the heartbeat of the savannah. It is a reminder that in the natural world, strength is not found in isolation, but in connection. The lion finds its strength in the pride. The buffalo finds its safety in the herd. It is a collective existence where the individual serves the whole and where the survival of the species outweighs the fate of any single animal. This is the survival of the fittest in its truest form. Not just the survival of the strongest individual, but the survival of the most adaptable and unified group. The cycle of life on the African plains is a continuous loop. Even as the pride sleeps tonight, somewhere in the darkness, a new buffalo calf is being born, and a young lion is practicing its first clumsy stalk in the moonlight. The roles are already being cast for tomorrow's drama. The grass will grow, the herds will move with the reins, and the lions will follow, their amber eyes always searching for that one moment of vulnerability. We leave the savannah as the stars begin to pierce the velvet sky. The ancient rivalry remains, a timeless dance of shadows and light, of bone and claw. The power of the pride is more than just a display of hunting prowess. It is a testament to the enduring spirit of life itself, a spirit that is as fierce as a lion's roar and as unyielding as a buffalo's charge. On these golden plains, the hunt never truly ends. It only pauses, waiting for the first light of a new dawn to begin the struggle all over again.